Hey, this is Aaron Wallace for Balance Your Fitness, here with another great health and wellness video today. We're going to talk about how our sleep every night affects and can actually enhance our weight loss each night. So now a lot of people don't understand exactly what happens during the basic sleep cycle. So we're going to go and explain a little bit about that first. Is that our basic sleep cycle is a combination of what's called our awakening cycle and actually our rest cycle, or what's called our circadian rhythm. So I don't know if you've ever heard of the word circadian rhythm, where all circadian really means is a daily rhythm. And it refers to the daily rhythm of our hormones that are going on inside of our body on a daily basis. So that daily rhythm of hormones basically balances between, on one side, having our awakening hormones or our stress hormones or our energy hormones on one side, or our rest and repair and our sex hormones on the other side. So when you think about our balance of hormones, like we talked about in previous videos, the balance of the hormones cortisol, adrenaline, what are called the glucocorticoid hormones, which basically break down muscle, tissue, things like that to use energy when we're in our bodies in a fight or flight state, we're in a stress state, versus our sex hormones, our rest and recovery hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and other those hormones that actually help us repair and rebuild tissue. So what we want to go and focus on is actually understanding how our sleep cycle actually affects which hormones that we use and how we can go and best use them to improve our health. So when we understand that this basic rhythm starts, we're going to start at about 6 in the morning when we naturally are supposed to wake up. So we are creatures of the sun. In the simplest terms is that we are designed based off evolution to wake up when the sun rises and to fall asleep when the sun sets. So when the sun rises, when light hits our body in the morning, where our body starts to secrete cortisol and adrenaline, kind of to wake us up in the morning, so that way we can kind of get up when the sun rises. And adrenaline and cortisol kind of peak at around 10 in the morning. It's actually cortisol peaks around 10 in the morning. That's when our body's the most awake and when we get the most stuff done. So that area between 6 in the morning till 10, 11 in the morning. Then after that, it will start to drop down until it gets to about 10 at night when we're supposed to go to bed. Then at night, those stress hormone levels should be well leveled off and very low. Whereas the opposing hormones, our rest and repair hormones, our testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, actually they start off very low throughout the day, and then will generally rise as the sun sets and we're getting ready for bed, and then start to peak at around 2 in the morning when we're asleep, and then they will start to generally fall off, and then fall off when we get to about 6 in the morning. They'll be at that nice low level when our cortisol levels will start to rise. So they go in this kind of opposing rhythm. So when cortisol's high, our rest and repair hormones are low. When our rest and repair hormones are low, our cortisol levels are low. So it goes in this daily rhythm. So we have the work and we have the rest. So we want to have this balance. However, when we start to go and have different stressors that go on, we can actually take away from that rhythm. So, for example, a lot of people like to go and have caffeinated beverages. A lot of times we start to have caffeinated beverages, especially at night. So when we talk about having like a pop, or like a pop at dinner, or coffee as part of our dessert after dinner, that caffeine actually stays in our system for about 6 hours after has the effect on our system for at least 6 hours after we drink it. So let's just say you have that coffee or have that Pepsi at about 6 or 7 at night. That caffeine will stay in your system to midnight, 1 o'clock or later. So then our body can't actually get into the cycle of getting into using our rest and repair hormones. So when we talk about arrest and repair hormones, that's where we go and you utilize body fat as a fuel source, and it's where our muscles use body fat as a fuel source, and we get the benefits from exercise. So if we cut that off, and we cut off our rest and repair, we're basically then going and breaking down our body constantly. So we put in more and more and more stress. So anything that raises our cortisol levels, especially at night, whether it's improper nutrient timing, the type of lights that we have on at our home, all those things can affect how much sleep we can get. So again, we want to be able to go and get that 8 to 10 hours of sleep that is optimal for our body. So a couple of tips that we can be able to go and utilize is being able to avoid caffeine after 3 p.m. Because if you avoid caffeine at 3 p.m. or have any caffeinated beverages 3 p.m. or earlier, you at least give our liver and our body a chance to clear out the caffeine out of our system before we go to bed. So that half-life of caffeine, that 6-hour period, that 6-hour window, will be used up before we get to bed, so that we have a better chance of getting to sleep at 9 or 10 o'clock at night. The second thing that we can go and do is to avoid computer, television lights an hour to 2 hours before bed. One of the things that when we talk about what stimulates cortisol release in our bloodstream is actually the light that we actually get from the sun. So when we wake up and we see sunlight, if we were to go and watch the awakening sun, there's a different type of light, of colors of light that we actually get that actually would stimulate more cortisol in the morning, versus if we were to watch the sunset. There's actually different colors of the spectrum of light that actually are more pronounced when the sun sets versus when the sun rises. And that's usually the blue and the green light spectrum, which will actually go and stimulate the awakening, versus the other colors of the spectrum, which will actually stimulate melatonin, which actually helps to put us to sleep. So going and watching television where you're getting the full spectrum of light all the time right before bed, even if you're able to fall asleep, will actually prevent you from utilizing your rest and repair hormones while you sleep. So that's going to be a big one, is avoiding screen time 1 to 2 hours before bed. That'll be a good way to go and make sure that we actually get a restful night's sleep. Because a lot of times we can still get that 8 to 10 hours of sleep, but feel still like crap after when we get up, and we still feel groggy and tired. That's because our body wasn't able to actually get into the rest portion during our sleep as well as we could have if we were to go and avoid that extra screen time 1 to 2 hours before bed. So again, avoiding caffeinated beverages, avoiding different types of light. And another big thing is being able to actually having a balanced meal before bed, so we can balance our blood sugar. One of the things that can really put us in a stress response is that while we sleep, if our blood sugar is imbalanced, our blood sugar goes too low, we will actually stimulate the stress response, cortisol and adrenaline, to break down our muscle tissue to produce blood sugar. So you actually get this response. Naturally, and you'll actually know when you get it if you have to actually get up to go to the bathroom quite often during the night. And you just drink a regular amount of water, you're not drinking an inordinate amount of fluids, but you still have to get up and go to the bathroom all the time. Part of the adrenaline response is actually makes you have to go to the bathroom. It actually makes you have to void your bladder, which you'll go if you ever see movies with people about to get into the gladiator arena and they scared so much they end up voiding end up peeing themselves. That's part of the adrenaline response. And when you actually have the cortisol and adrenaline response when you're sleeping, you actually can go and have that by actually having to get up to go to the bathroom 2 or 3 or 4 times a night. So if you're having that symptom, want to be a good way to be able to go and say having a balanced meal with the right types of carbohydrates, the right types of fats, the right types of protein to be able to balance your blood sugar throughout the night. There's also ways you can go and make sure that if you do, you can combat that cortisol and adrenaline response by having a certain snack by your bedside that can go and help balance your blood sugar during the night if you're constantly getting up to go to the bathroom. So again, we'll review those few tips. Again, just in case we're talking fast, we missed them. Number one is being able to go and avoid direct light screen time, direct TV, computer screen time 1 to 2 hours before bed. The second is avoiding caffeine for past 3 p.m. So again, avoiding any caffeinated beverages after 3 p.m. And the third is being able to make sure that we have a balanced meal before bed, and being able to make sure that we can balance our blood sugar before bed, so that way we can make sure that we get the most out of our 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And all those, if you're having all those techniques combined, you should be able to go and get a better and more restful night's sleep. If you try those things and we're still not having problems, don't hesitate to put a comment on the section for this YouTube post, or you can go and send us an email at info@balanceyourfitness.com. There's plenty. I'm trying to make simple things that we can do, but remember, the human body is a complex system of systems. And there's a lot of things that can go on that can go and increase our stress response. So we want to be able to go and make sure that we understand that we are a holistic person, that each solution is going to be tailored to your specific needs and what's going on with your body. But those are 3 things that that can be simple and easy things to go and avoid, and to decrease the amount of stress before bed. So again, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to leave comments or questions that with our email address or on our Facebook page. And this has been Aaron Wallace for Balance Your Fitness, asking you to live your life in balance.